Hi guys, welcome back to Shanificent. My name is Shani and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Today I want to give you some life hacks. I want to give you 3 life hacks that will have you living the best life, the life of your dreams, the life you want to be living, a life that brings you peace, and joy and all the goodness. Okay? So listen up. Okay, so the first one is say what you want, not what you don't want. Say what you want, not what you do not want. Way too many people, way too many of us complain. We complain. We spend a lot of time and energy complaining, a lot of time and energy talking about and voicing the things that we don't like in our lives and the things that annoy us and the things that we hate and all this and the things that bother us, you know? And let me tell you that you're just you talking about the things that bother you all the time is you're just perpetuating that reality. You're just creating that reality because you're literally creating it. Think about it. When you talk, you speak life into existence. You speak life into being. So if you're constantly speaking about the things that annoy you and that bother you and the people that annoy you and that bother you, you're just going to get more people that annoy you and bother you. That's it. And it can be very frustrating. I find it kind of frustrating sometimes because I see how people are just stuck in their misery and stuck in their unhappiness just because they're not saying what they want. They're just focusing on what they don't want, when what they want is right there. Because when you think about it, usually what you want is the opposite of what you don't want, right? So these people or these things in your life that bother you and annoy you, use that frustration and anger and irritation to guide you towards what you do want. Use that as an indicator to what you do actually want, If there's someone I really don't like and they really bother me, and they're in my circles or whatever, or I work with them or I have to see them regularly and they really, really, really annoy me. Instead of constantly telling everyone I can, telling my diary, telling my Twitter feed, telling my followers how much this person at work bothers me, I can reflect, realize, oh yeah, this is really frustrating me, and acknowledge how tired I am of being frustrated, how tired I am of having to deal with this person, and then think, I would much rather have someone who is kind and diligent and a hard worker and whatever, and then focus on that. Stay there, and have fun with it. Dream up the kind of coworker you'd rather have. Dream up the kind of person you'd rather have in your life. Dream up the kind of living situation you'd rather have. Dream up the kind of work situation, the kind of life situation, whatever, the kind of boyfriend, the kind of girlfriend, the kind of partner, the kind of husband, the kind of spouse, the kind of whatever, the kind of pet. Dream it up. Dream it up and focus there. Focus on that. Because that's how you're moving closer and closer to that reality. That is how you'll create that reality, by speaking on it. So, if you come around me and you start complaining, I'm just going to tell you, well, this is clearly what you want. It's just frustrating because it's do you actually want change? Do you actually want change, or do you actually enjoy complaining? Because sometimes you do, and that's okay too. But I think it's just helpful. It would be helpful for us to accept that and acknowledge that we actually don't want things to change. We like we like complaining about our life. We just do, But for those of you that do want things to change and really do want a different experience of life, please start saying what you want. Start practicing it. It can feel really vulnerable to say what you want, and that's often why we struggle to say what we actually want. It's just kind of raw. We're putting ourselves out there because there's a chance that, that maybe we want something from someone else and they might not be able to give it to us, and that's a really difficult thing to experience. Emotionally, it's just tough. You feel vulnerable and you feel, it's like you jumped off on a cliff and nobody caught you. So I get it, but you have to start. You can't get what you want if you don't know what you want. And you can't get what you want if you don't say what you want. So you have to know what you want, then you have to say what you want. And you don't necessarily have to say it out loud with your voice. You can write it down, but just materialize it, make it known in some way, shape, or form to life itself and to the universe and to God in some way, either writing it down or saying it. And then it's so much clearer. Like, you've started building that reality. So please start saying what you want, okay? I don't want to hear nothing about what you don't like and what you don't want. I want to hear what you love, what you like, what sounds exciting to you. I want to hear that, okay? The next one is take accountability for everything you experience. You got to do it. You got to do it. People who are living lives that they love and lives that energize them and feed them and fulfill them take accountability for everything they experience. They take accountability for everything in their life. For everything. You need to get into the practice of saying, I wonder why this is happening to me. Like, I wonder where I'm at that I've experienced this person shouting at me. I've experienced a lot of people judging me. I got into a car accident. You know, like, you just have to start framing your life in that way, like putting you at the center of it. Like, I wonder where my energy's at, where my emotions are at. You know, was I particularly, did I look cold? Did I come off cold today? You know, I decided to wear all black. Maybe that put something out, kind of sent off the vibe that, like, oh, this person is hostile, and that's why I received hostility from someone. That's why someone was aggressive towards me. Or maybe, you know, I'm wearing red today. Maybe that's why I'm getting uncomfortable attention. You know, it's just like, you have to start taking accountability for the things you experience, because the truth is that everything starts and ends with you, honey. Everything starts and ends with you. And that is a huge truth of life. Everything starts and ends with you. Everything in your life, everything you're experiencing is trying to bring you back to you so that you can know yourself better and understand yourself better. Everything. The point of life is to know yourself. That's what I believe, at least. And so you have to think about yourself in that way in regards to what happens to you in your life. You just have to. We can't be blaming, as grown adults, we truly cannot be blaming everyone else for what happens to us. We can't be blaming our kids. We can't be blaming the dog. We can't be blaming our boss. We can't be blaming the woman in the grocery store and the supermarket. We can't be blaming other people the whole time. At some point, you have to just at some point you just have to recognize that you're the common denominator in every single one of those situations. It's you're the one who's there. Doesn't matter if it's you and the kids, you and your other family members, you and whoever, you and some stranger, you and someone in the bank. It's you. You're the common denominator. So at some point you have to just be like, well, maybe I have something to do with it. You know, maybe I do. The reason why it's essential that you take accountability for what happens in your life is because you're the only one, in most situations, you're the only one that has the power to change it. That's where the power is. That's why people who love their lives and have fulfilling lives that give them so much joy and peace, take accountability for everything that happens in their life, because they're powerful. It makes you powerful because the power lies with you. So, for example, let's say you hate where you live and you hate your roommates because one of them is super untidy. Someone you live with is very, very untidy and unclean. And for that reason, you're having an awful experience where you live. You hate where you live and you want to move, but you can't. You can't move. For whatever reason, you're unable to move. So you have to stay there. You have control over yourself. You don't have control over your roommate. You can't force your roommate to learn to be tidy and to be clean. I mean, you can try, but you're going to exert so much energy. You're going to deplete yourself of almost all of your energy trying to do that. When instead, the easier option is just to change your perspective. Or just to realize, how did I get into a situation where I had such an untidy roommate? Do I have weak boundaries? Do I have no boundaries? So I just let them do whatever they want? Or am I myself actually kind of untidy, and like this person's just a little bit more untidy than me, and now I'm seeing myself in that and I don't like it? But you see how the power lies with you, because you can change your perspective. You can change your perspective on the situation, okay? You can say, you have the power. You have the power. But if you're waiting for the roommate to change, they could take a lifetime. They could take their whole lifetime. They may never change. So you give them power over your joy, over your peace, over your happiness, over your fulfillment. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself when you have the power to change how you experience things. You have the power to control how you experience your life and how you experience even the most annoying of situations. You do. So it's all about accountability. You have to take accountability for everything that happens in your life. Everything. The last one, the third one, is lean into what feels good, move away from what feels bad. Don't do things you don't feel like doing. Do not do things you don't feel like doing. This is a huge one that a lot of people, I think a lot of us struggle with, because a lot of us struggle with following our intuition. And a lot of us struggle with silencing, or at least quieting our minds down enough that we can listen to our hearts and our guts and our intuition and what fundamentally feels right and wrong. Because actually in life, life is actually a lot more simple than we realize. We just complicate it. We complicate it way too much. You can make a lot of decisions very quickly if you let your heart and or your gut make the decision. The heart and the gut just say yes and no. They only know yes and no. And intuition only knows yes and no. It doesn't have, like reasonings and explanations and like the mind. The mind will go in and out and weigh pros and cons and whatever and like no one cares. The heart does not care. The gut does not care. They're just like, it's a no. It's a no. And sometimes you can feel that it's a no, but your mind is still going off, especially if you're like me and you're cerebral. You're in your head a lot. You have a lot of thoughts, because your thoughts are just like going, but this, and what will this person think, and what will this person think, and what will I think of myself, and the gut is like, no. It's so simple. This is what I mean, where like we complicate life. The mind complicates life so much. It doesn't need to be that complicated. If you don't feel like going out somewhere to like an event or something, don't go. You need to get into the practice of listening to your no, so you can also hear your yes. Like, the gut doesn't just say no. Sometimes it's just yes. And like the more that you can listen out for your no and you honor your no, you'll also be able to hear your yes, the yes. And like the yes is the kind of like the gut level yes, or the heart level yes is very different to the mind level yes. The mind level yes comes after reason after reason after reason, after you've acknowledged X, Y, B, A, B, C, D, E reasons why it's a good idea to go. You've thought through it, and then it doesn't feel as good. But like the gut level yes, it's just like yes, of course, no explanations needed. It's just a yes. So this is necessary, because it's a really good indicator. Your gut and your heart is a very good indicator of what's actually for you. It's looking out for you. Your heart loves you, bro. Your heart loves you. It really loves you. And if you can find love for it too, meaning you can open your heart and you're someone who feels and you acknowledge that you feel things and you acknowledge your feelings, then you can start using it as a GPS, as your own personal GPS, to figure out which direction to go in, what's right for you, what's not. Because your intuition knows way more than you will ever know at any given time. It knows all the things. It knows everything. So it can do everything. Like, you don't have to be in your mind being like Google searching and looking up things. I'm talking to myself. You don't have to be in your mind like figuring everything out and finding all the answers. Your intuition already knows all the answers, and they're all tailored to you. Your intuition is personalized to you. So if you can get into the practice of listening to your heart, then you'll naturally end up living a life that you love, because you'll naturally end up making choices that are perfect for you, that are so necessary for you and perfect for you. And it's just, you also just cut out the anxiety, cut out the stress. I will talk about intuition and anxiety a bit more in another video eventually, but yeah, it's huge on the path to living a life that you love and a life that brings you peace and joy and fulfillment. So yeah, that was my third tip. I guess I'll just say the tips again so that you can remember them. The first one is say what you want, not what you don't want. Say what you want, not what you don't want. We don't want to hear that. The second one is take accountability for everything you experience. Take accountability for everything you experience in your life. You gotta do it. Just be a grown adult, you know? Just take accountability. And the third one is move away from what feels bad, lean into what feels good. Don't do anything you don't feel like doing. I hope you found this video useful. I hope maybe you learned something new that you hadn't before, or you were reminded of something that you needed to be reminded of. Try and practice these things as much as you can, and I can assure you, you will see results for sure. You'll definitely experience more peace and joy in your life, and you'll just find your life way more fulfilling. You'll be excited to wake up every morning. I know that for sure. So thank you so much for watching. Please like if you'd like, and subscribe if you'd like. Comment too if you'd like. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.